What is up, guys? We're going to be talking about branding via Facebook today. So let me start the slides right now. So like I said, talking about branding via Facebook. Branding is an interesting topic that we can go on for hours about. The whole purpose is to brand a micro following that listens to what you have to promote and say, and they follow exactly what you do. You have to make sure you do this correctly. You need a logo or a face or an avatar, someone that this audience can relate to. And a logo isn't someone they can relate to, but it just gives your brand a more chance to stand out. It gives it a bigger presence. The best brands are all built on stories, the person behind the company. Now, let's think about Social Network and then the Steve Jobs movie, etc. It's all a story based around a company, all right? So again, all the best brands are all built on stories. How can you create a micro brand on Facebook that allows you to create an audience that follows you and purchases whatever you have to throw at their face? And I'm going to be completely honest, I am no branding specialist at all, but I do know a thing or two about branding via Facebook, that's for sure. And here are three main components you want to keep in mind. Number one is the avatar. Who is going to be the face or the brand, all right? The face for the brand, and who's going to be the face for the actual page, the brand, etc. Who are people going to relate to? When it comes down to a brand, people must either, one, feel the need to have a product because it makes them feel a certain way, or two, connect with the brand on an emotional level. Now, one and two are both mental, all right? They're both processed through the brain, and it's really important that you realize that a lot of branding is really based around emotions. So if you can create, or even better, be your own avatar for your brand, then you will have the upper hand. Like I said, I'm not really a brand specialist here, but I've been reading a lot of branding books and whatnot and been talking to a lot of branding specialists and made sure I added everything they told me in this PowerPoint. Next thing you want to make sure you have is a story that resonates with your average audience member. So your average viewer, get an avatar, write down an avatar of them. This will help the selling process flow much easier. Now why? Because think of it as a friendly suggestion than a salesman effect. Number two is positioning yourself and your brand for maximum exposure. You want to hear something really crappy as to how building a story-based brand works so well? There was a woman who said she had a terminal brain illness, and it was cancer, and she put it up on her diet blog. The illness was brain cancer, like I just said. She gave recipes that she shared that helped her, quote-unquote, cure her brain cancer, and she dropped chemo because of it, because she was cured with these diets that she was posting. Now, this story caught fire because the audience was people who had brain cancer or some form of cancer, so the audience really resonated with her and what she said, what she was saying, etc. So people resonated with this woman. They actually trusted her and believed in her and believed what she had to say. Turns out she never had brain cancer. She built a whole fabricated story, sold millions of dollars worth of recipe books, where her book was actually one of the top Amazon bestsellers, and then she went publicly and apologized because she realized she essentially killed people. Now, she made people stop getting chemotherapy and started to get on a new diet, and some people died, right? So basically she told people, hey, look, you don't need to do chemo. You can just follow my diets. Just pay me $70 and I'll teach you how to get rid of cancer. So essentially she was building a brand, almost like a cult-like following, but it was fabricated into something much deeper. So that's one of the greatest things I've ever seen, but it's one of the scummiest ways I've seen it actually portrayed. So definitely very, very good aspect on how she marketed it. Very bad concept as to why she did what she did. What's the importance of me telling you this? Story-based brand works very effectively if it's a real story. If you're not using a real story, prepare for a huge backlash when you get caught, okay? So position yourself as someone that is truthful and someone people can trust. All someone ever wants to do is trust someone. Build that trust with a real story. You can control anyone to make them do anything you want. So number 3 is have 1,000 loyal followers. Someone told me a long time ago that having about 1,000 people following you and loyal followers is the same as running your own multi-million-dollar business. Now, why? And they were right. But let me break it down for you. If one person in a loyal following is worth $30 per month to you, and typically they are worth a lot more, because if you think about it, a company like Lead Pages charges, what, $37 a month, $27 a month, something like that. They have a loyal following of thousands of people. They are a multi-million-dollar company. So that's $30 a month, every single month. That's $360,000 per year from 1,000 people. That is super, super easy. And Andrew Chaperone has a list of 200 or less people, and he squeezed over $120,000 in one promotion with them. Over $120,000 in one promotion from a list of 200 people. And what was its conversions? Well, it was about a list of 260 or 280, something like that. But it was a $1,000 product, and he sold 120 copies of that product in a 7-day time period. So again, he built a loyal following, but it was a list of about 200 people after unsubscribes and people, emailing back and whatnot. So again, this promotion was awesome, and I watched it unfold. And why and how did this happen? Because he used the power of storytelling to build his brand and a loyal following. That's all it really takes. You want to make sure you nurture your first 1,000 folks, your first 1,000 leads, first 1,000 people, whatever you want to call them. Once you nurture them, you can sell them anything, no matter what type of economic circumstances the world is in. No matter what type of economic circumstances you are in, they are in, you can sell them on anything once you have the trust. That's what's awesome about building a brand. That is it for branding. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for branding with Facebook. Let's continue to scaling up your campaigns and breaking it down, but let me just add one more thing before I end off. This video seems out of place, but believe me, it's not. This video is one of the most important in FAM, because if you build a real following, a real cult-like following, you can be like that woman, but don't be a scum about it, please. You can build a following of people who just literally jump when you say jump, who clap when you say clap. It's amazing what you can do if you position it correctly. Now, there are a ton of micro brands out there that are making a killing, all right? So you can look for them, you can see what they're doing, you can even copy big brands like Apple and see what's working for them. Simplicity works. Now, this is going into completely something different. This is going into a lot more branding and building a huge business, but again, we're just building something to build on again. So like I was saying, branding, you can build a micro following, very important, very amazing to do if you do it correctly. So again, that's it, and I will look for you in the very next video.